Well, the words hurricane season often spark worry for those living along the eastern U.S. coast. The phrase hurricane shelling inspires something entirely different. Instead of fear, it stirs curiosity and excitement, evoking images of the rare and beautiful treasures the storm may leave behind. I had planned to meet Hurricane Erin as she brushed the shoreline, but my truck's broken alternator had other ideas, leaving me stranded for hours in a parking lot in Okeechobee instead of walking the beach. Still, I wasn't about to let an expensive repair keep me from the sand. So 2 days later, I borrowed a vehicle. I made it over while Erin was still churning offshore, though much further away by then. And you know what? Maybe it worked out for the best. My friend texted me that only a few shells were being found, but I've always been someone who needs to experience it firsthand. And so I've decided to go to Hobe Sound National Wildlife Refuge. This place has been the kindest to me when it comes to finding shells on the East Coast. So I wasn't going to mess around and try a new beach. I just wanted to go here. Now, this is on Saturday. I did want to come on Thursday, so this is 2 days after I really wanted to be here. But maybe it was okay. The tide is coming in, and theoretically, the back of my mind, I'm saying, okay, the tide's going to push the shells in. We'll see if that's how that works out. That's a turtle egg. Oh, yeah. And I guess I should have expected that. I don't know that I've ever actually seen them. So clearly some turtle nests were destroyed by the storm that came through here. And it doesn't seem to, at least in this section of the beach, it doesn't really seem to be any piles. And the ocean is churning, is definitely got a little more action out there than it normally does. All right, turn my attention to the beach. Here is an auger. I do like the augers. I think they're quite beautiful. That's about as big as they're going to get. All right, so no piles, but at least there are shells here. It's okay. Oh, yeah, there's probably going to be a little bit of garbage too. And that's also kind of to be expected after a big storm. Churns up all sorts of stuff. Okay, not too many people here. Oh, there's some more turtle eggs. Yeah. Any shells? All right, here's a rough scallop. All right, it's a little discolored. All right, still fun. It's intact. Okay, there's a seashell. Because look, you're not guaranteed just because a big old storm comes through does not mean you're absolutely going to find, these crazy shells. But I'm going to try. That is a spectral bittersweet. A nice one at that. This is also nice. It's also a spectral bittersweet. Beautiful. They remind me of candy. And check this out. This is the tiniest little giant bittersweet. So, yep. So that is a giant bittersweet, but obviously it's just a teeny little version of one. Well, that's kind of adorable. Does that mean it's going to be all small shells? You know what? That's okay, as long as there's shells. That's the only my only requirement. Let there be something to find here. Now, those are lion's paws, and yes, that is a specimen I was hoping to find. There's actually quite a few specimens I was really kind of hoping to find, and then there was a couple things that I forgot about and I was excited to find. And there are a few brand new to me seashells, so that's really exciting. So if you're ready to see what all Hobe Sound is going to gift us with today, let's go to the beach. All right, well, I am here 2 days later than I wanted to be, but better late than never, right? Now, this is unusual to find super shiny, glossy lettered olives with their tops intact on the East Coast. I've never found olives in this great a condition over here. All right, that one I'm going to pass on. Yeah, so the storm did that. That was kind of weird in a good way, a good weird. So we do have a bunch of really sizable lettered olives. Nice condition too. Here's a calico scallop. The color's really pretty. A beautiful color on that. All right, so this is more like a giant debris field versus like a rack line. So there's gonna be lots of zigging, lots of zagging. Be terrible to pass that up. Another lettered olive. Oh, that'd be nice to find one of these helmets one day. Find the bits and pieces, so I could probably Frankenstein one together, but it'd be nice to find a whole one. One of these days, I'm gonna hold on to that. All right, a chestnut turban. And another lovely. More out. No, that one's broken. Yeah, probably gonna pass on that. This is just strange. I'm used to finding the olives, but they're big and they're beat up. These are quite nice. That's a real nice calico scallop. A little bit of color on there. I'm not afraid of white. White is my second favorite color. Oh, a bubble! Look how big it is. Oh, I wish I could find like 30 of them. That's only my third one. My third East Coast bubble that size. I forgot about those. That was a fun little surprise. Flats. Are they more common on the East Coast? They're very treasured on the West Coast of Florida, and I feel like I come over here and they're just kind of here, which is really fun. So that's an awesome find. A little flat. So yes, the Atlantic is still churning. She's basically up by Canada at this point, but the residual effects are still evident. I even saw some surfers. So that's when you know, yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah, I won't be doing any shelling in the water today. It's all right, we'll stay up here and I'll just continue to pick up beautiful, glossy, pointy, lettered olives. Very unusual, very cool. Look how, it's so glossy. And then the tiny scallops. There are so many. I don't know why, when I think tiny shells, I really do think more of the west coast of Florida. East Coast, I think more Caribbean, more, well, kind of exciting things because I'm not always over here. But man, these little scallops today, there were so many of them. Look at this one. It's just the teeniest. So it still delights me. Yeah, it's a little rough scallop. You can actually see the little roughness. So that was kind of fun. Oh, if you see pink over here, it's very likely you've picked up a large Strigila. I was calling it Strigila. I think it's actually pronounced Strigila. So a large Strigila is that pink one on top, and then we have that purple calico scallop on the bottom. Some lovely colors. So I was hoping that the tide coming in would be pushing shells up onto the beach, and sometimes that is the way that it works. Not today. I don't see a thing. It is just sand and these waves. Yep. We're not going to be doing any shelling in the water. That's not to say that something might not get pushed up later on once the tide's really kind of coming in. Yep. I mean, it is what it is. That's okay. I'm going to stick to these little piles and see what might be here. Here is a giant bittersweet. More would I say common? Yeah, it's kind of common. But I still like them. I think they're pretty swell. So that is a giant bittersweet. And here's another one of those large Strigilas. Yeah, kind of like the rose petal talon of the East Coast. That's a large Strigila. And that's a lace murex. Yeah, it's seen better days. And I'm kind of combing the catalog. Have I ever found one over here? I don't know. I would think it's a little bit unlikely or uncommon to find a lace murex over here, but that's what that is, a little lace murex. Oh, a limpet. But it's an imposter. It's not a real limpet. It's called a false limpet. And they do not breathe ocean water. They have lungs, so they breathe air. They're closer related to land snails than they are sea snails. Okay, I can clearly see the pattern on that cross-hatched lucine. Yep, That is how I can tell what those little shells are by that lovely little pattern. Oh, the chestnut turbans, they have a nice pattern too. And there were, for whatever reason, I guess that's what the storm kicked up, there were a lot of them today. So instead of just kind of showing you chestnut turban every third shell, we'll just do a little montage here. There were, I like the ones that are very, very beaded, or they have kind of these different colors on them, but there were a lot of them. So it was fun. It was fun to pick up these lovely beaded chestnut turbans. So that was another shell. In addition to those olives, the chestnut turbans were showing up. So there is clearly things here. It's just a different kind of hunting. You just never know. It's like right in the middle of the beach. It could be anywhere. This is a Tampa turrid. Would you look at that? I definitely have not found one over here. And so this is just kind of fun. I'm seeing things that I just wouldn't expect to find. And I assume that Erin had something to do with that. So that is a little Tampa turrid. Oh, that's a clue. I would say it's a breadcrumb. We call it a shell crumb. Well, it is a piece of a Scotch bonnet. And I am always looking to find those when I come over to the East Coast. So hopefully, even if it's just one. Yep, looking, see what other kind of... So obviously, the things we're going to find today are going to be on the smaller side, and that's fine by me. Oh, here's a Mexican Talon. And I was just thinking, these must be delicious. Just like the shark eyes, like they almost always have a hole drilled in them. So that is a Mexican Talon. And that one is too. This one's not, it's got a little bit of the color. The ones that are very colorful, they will have flecks of like nice, like a maroon red on it. And the Mexican Talon. Oh, it's so adorable. Okay, so that is a shell I'm always looking to find too. An imperial Venus clam, but it's just a wee little thing. Oh, it's so cute. So little juvenile imperial Venus clam. That works. That works for me. And okay, a little chestnut turban and a lady-in-waiting Venus clam. They are absolutely everywhere here. The lady-in-waiting Venus clams, but they're still really, really pretty. So I paid them some attention. Now that is a lightning pitar. It has the same essential shell shape as the lady-in-waiting Venus clam, but it's a little more smooth. I mean, it's got its lines, but that is a lightning pitar. Yep, that's the, oh, that one's got purple on it. The lady-in-waiting Venus clam. See, it's kind of got that same shape, that like delicate swoop to it, but this one has all those like ribs or ridges. A little limpet. That's a real one, and that's a broken chestnut turban, I think. Wait, what else do I? All right, yeah, it would be terrible to leave that. I only have like, I don't know, 40 of them. Okay, so this little limpet. So this is a true limpet. It's a little discolored, but it does actually have a hole in it. It's supposed to. So this is one of the shells that is supposed to. It is a gastropod, so it is only one shell, and that would typically hang out on like rocks. It would like adhere itself to rocks. Oh, yes. So that's a little coffee bean trivia. Isn't that cool? It looks like a baby cowrie. There's little teeth on the other side, but that's a coffee bean trivia. Whoa. Is that a giant bittersweet? Or maybe it's, because there's a couple different kinds of those bitters. I think it might be a giant. Like there's a decussit, there's a, I think maybe an American bittersweet. Oh, a Shiny Auger. Oh, yes. Oh, I was so excited when I found my first one. Yeah, clearly they get their name because they're really shiny, and at least that makes sense to me. Some of these shell names don't make sense, but that is a Shiny Auger. You could have went with bullet auger too, in my opinion. Gorgeous. So that is another type of auger shell. What are you? Oh, I don't know. It's an arc, I think, an arc of some sort. So it kind of looks like, shoot, if like a mossy arc, a turkey wing, and maybe like a cut-ribbed arc all had a shell, that's what it would look like. I don't know what that is. It's just interesting. Would definitely holding on to it. If anyone knows what that is, I would love an answer below. All right, there's a Mexican Talon, and that is a purplish semele. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, it's almost like that, the paint splatter on the bottom. Isn't that pretty? So that's a purplish semele. Yep, Not that purplish, I know. And the Mexican talon. Gorgeous. All right, so definitely fun things here. Okay, another olive. I'd categorize that under the unusual, just because I don't normally collect olives from the this coast of Florida. Go figure. Another giant bittersweet. All right, so it's a little slow. I mean, like I had said, there's not shell piles here, but there are a couple shells coming up, again, that I've never seen before. So I'm going to share those with you. Now, this is railroad vine. So yeah, I'm just walking along, and then all of a sudden there's going to be these pretty purple flowers and railroad vine. And that's typical. I see them on the beach every now and then. Fun. Another fun thing, another splash of color to be at the beach. Yeah, so this was lots of zigging, lots of zagging. Like I said, it wasn't very clear cut, like, you know, this is your rack line look here. It was, I guess because the storms just kicked everything all over the place. Now, what is this? I don't know. All right, so I'm thinking it's either a juvenile cowrie or it's like a big marginella, because they do have the white spot marginellas that get to about an inch. So I don't know what that is. Mystery. A fun mystery shell. Oh, I know what that is. Oh, and I was hoping it was not broken. It's just a little sand on it, because it's a juvenile lion's paw. Isn't it adorable? It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Probably because it's only yo big. A beautiful little lion's paw. Okay, it's not one of those big ones, but that's okay. It's intact, and the color is just gorgeous. All right, that's an albino prickly cockle. Huh. But what kind? At first I thought for sure Florida prickly cockle, but that's the wrong shape. Oh, you know what? I think that's a magnum prickly cockle, because the magnum shape is like somewhere between the yellow prickly cockle and the Florida prickly cockle. Yep, that's my best guess. An albino magnum prickly cockle. Oh, another auger. Excellent. Aren't they so I got a thing for augers. These, I mean, we have the Shiney auger. There's a couple of different augers I do hope to find. A lilac auger. Oh, look, right on cue. There's a Shiney auger. Oh, they're so pretty. And I've only found a handful, so they're really just fun. And you could, I mean, when you look at them next to each other, yeah, that Shiney auger, it kind of tapers differently, more like a bullet. Beautiful. And like I was saying, there's a lilac auger, there's a concave auger, so there's a couple other augers I haven't found yet. Once again, right on cue. I've never seen this before. Now, I do believe that is a concave auger. It's broken. It's okay. It's still exciting because it's the first time I found it. Oh, it's so cool. And the other thing that kind of escapes me is I'll see these shells in the books, and I don't really have a good idea of how big they're going to be. So that, I believe, is a concave auger. Now I'm going to put that next to our standard Eastern auger, just so you can kind of tell. To me, it's very obvious just because I pick them up all the time, the auger on the left. Beautiful. Awesome. At least I think that's what that is. That is a concave auger. Here's another one of those little imperial Venus clams, and look how tiny. It's not in as good a condition as that first one. I'm still keeping it. Absolutely. It's tiny day here, obviously. Tiny day here over at Hobe Sound. So this is a paper cockle. And I think I can go with spiny paper cockle, because I can see a little bit of that spine on the left side of it. So that, yep, kind of reminds me of the purplish semele, kind of, sort of. A flat. Yes, another flat. Yeah, those are always exciting for me. Anytime. You know, I guess if I was picking them up every single week, it would not be as exciting, but since that doesn't happen. Look at that. Now, for a minute, I'm like, that's a Sunray Venus clam, isn't it now? One of our fancy clams. It's just a little bit faded. Kind of threw me off for a second there, but that is a Sunray Venus clam. This is another one of those Eastern augers. Yeah, the color is real pretty. It's on the dark side, just very prominent little markings on the shell. Beautiful. A little auger. Ah, That's a piece of a triton. I don't know what kind. I've never found one myself. I was looking at the pictures of them earlier. There's a hairy triton, an angular triton, there's a dog-headed triton. Yep, I haven't found one yet. I will, one of these days. I actually really like the fact that I still have a lot of bucket list kind of shells to find. I like that. So there's still many mysteries out there for me. This is not a mystery. This is an absolutely stunning turkey wing. I mean, this is just about as perfect a specimen as you're going to find. Gorgeous zigzag arc. Right, here is a scaly scallop. Those are always going to be, well, unless they lost their color, I suppose I shouldn't say always. Typically, they're very, very bright orange, and they have that one little wing on the side. That's a scaly scallop. Yep, that tide is coming in, and look at this. So the rack lines on the left here, I mean, the tide went practically up over the, no, not over the dunes, but just right up to it. And oh, the ocean, it can be so destructive, but it can just be also so joyful. So I'm going to think about that, and I'm going to be quiet and let you all enjoy some beach time. Another limpet. I can see this one a little better. Well, I do think this is another cayenne keyhole limpet. At least I think so. Yeah, either way, it's a fun little find. All right, it does look, at least for the foreseeable walking distance, that there's not much left on the beach. Everything's kind of been swept back out into the ocean. So I'm going to turn around and hope perhaps maybe the ocean will push a thing or two up the beach for me. And clearly I would have missed something because, again, it was more of a debris field situation than a rack line. Yeah, there is. If there's shells in the water, I would have absolutely no way to get them. Yeah, this is just way too powerful right now. And again, this is on Saturday after the storm really kind of was it would have been, in my opinion, better to come earlier. This is what this ocean normally looks like. They're rolling waves. They're fine. And that, for me, that's still pretty exciting. But what's going on today is, yeah, much more impressive from that storm. All right, let's see what else we might be able to find. Okay, there is another one of those purplish semeles. So this has just been kind of hanging out here for a little while. It looks a little bit different, but that is a purplish semele. Go figure, even though it looks rather yellow. All right, another Mexican telling. Some nice little flecks of that like maroon red I was telling you about. Oh, nobody ate this one. So that one, perhaps, maybe that one got to be into old age, maybe. Signed up for AARP and everything. All right, here is another shiny auger. I don't know why. They should have like a little bit of brown on them. I'm like, yeah, are you albino? You're not old. I mean, you're just still super shiny. Yeah, you're pretty. A pretty shiny auger. Oh, look. Oh, looks like a little cowrie. Oh, just completely encrusted with beach stuff. I've never found an actual cowrie. I can't tell if that's what it is. I think so, maybe. I'm going to keep it. The mystery shell. I'm going to keep the mystery cowrie. Oh, look at this little adorable thing. That's a little turkey wing. It's so cute. The turkey wings are just kind of weird shaped. Like they're not very uniform, and so in order for me to tell if they're broken or not, I have to look at the reverse side. I can't always tell. So I'm so glad that I made it here. I cannot tell you how much it was driving me crazy that I had a trip planned to come over here and I could not be on the beach. It really was driving me crazy. That's a little Mexican talon. I had to come over here myself and see what was here. All right, lettered olive. Now, would the shelling have been better 2 days ago? I don't think so. I think I'm okay coming now. Will the shelling be better moving forward? Maybe. And then again, maybe not. I mean, these things are not a science. Whoa, you are beautiful. Now, maybe you're a leafy jewel box, maybe, or you also could be a smoothed edged jewel box. Either way, I think that shell was absolutely gorgeous. And check this out. Thank you, Hobe Sound. If you really wanted me to have a Scotch bonnet, I really appreciate it, because I really wanted me to have a Scotch bonnet. So I do think that perhaps this was pushed up onto the beach, and I'm just going to pretend it was just for me. Thank you. I just needed one. I just wanted one Scotch bonnet, and that's what I got. Awesome. So the storm obviously brought in some different things. It wasn't exactly what I was hoping for, but you know what? At least I got over here. And I'm not the only one enjoying this wonderful beach. Oh, I think we have a surfer about to catch a wave. Oh, that's so fun. Yeah. Hopefully I'll get to go maybe scuba diving soon. It hasn't been great for diving. Clearly beachcombing and surfing are being enjoyed, but yeah, I'm just gonna have to wait for those waters to settle down a bit. Oh, check this out. Now, this is different. This is very different than the other limpets. I think that this might be a meta keyhole limpet. It's a lot flatter than the Cayenne keyhole limpet. It's hard to tell. It's got a lot of the dark sand kind of like jammed into those little holes. Cool. Another new to me shell. So boy, am I happy that I was finally able to make it over to the East Coast, especially after all those car problems. And in the end, in my opinion, I think it was totally worth the trip. I had an awesome morning on the beach. I got to come home with some wonderful tiny treasures like that concave auger, that adorable little Scotch bonnet, that bright orange lion's paw, which of course we're all going to see in a minute. But the thing that really stuck out to me on this trip is something else that I've learned. Not knowing what is on the beach is worse than finding nothing. I honestly don't think it's a big deal if there's no shells. Yes, making those videos are a little more challenging, but at least I get to go to the beach. Not getting to go, that is the worst. So for all of you that I'm providing this public service of showing you what's actually on the beach when these storms kind of come through, you are so welcome. I hope I'm able to show you what's on the beach for many years to come. So I did pick up a little garbage when I was on the beach, 3.55 ounces to be exact. So that means in total, I have removed I'm getting there, almost 80 pounds of garbage off our beaches. There was a lot of shells today. Look at all those olives, glossy, pointy, and the chestnut turbans. There was a worm snail, a cob, a piece of a helmet, some common augers, or the eastern augers, the shiny augers, some rough scallops. There's some turkey wings. There's some limpets, the false limpet, that meta limpet, maybe the keyhole limpets, and then these are all the little calico scallops. There's some mystery shell there, a cut-ribbed arc, the magnum prickly cockle, the bittersweets, the Mexican talons. There's some scaly scallops on the left there, some giant bittersweets. There is a jingle and the large Strigila. And the Tampa talon, I don't know why that one little olive is over here, but then we have the lightning pitar, that big bubble that I like so much, the semeles, the paper cockle, the lady in waiting Venus clams, and then my favorites. There's a lot, that maybe cowries, things, the little trivia, the imperial Venus clams, all those flats, but that Scotch bonnet, that lion's paw. And then I think maybe the leafy jewel box, and then that concave auger was so cool. So super fun. Again, just getting over there, I was really, really grateful. And Patreons, you know, whether I'm driving just down the street to a beach or I'm driving across the state, your support is really what keeps this journey going. So thank you everyone who watches, and a special thank you and shout out to my Patreons who monetarily support me and literally keep this show on the road. Next week, we are going to Keewaydin. It's actually very fun. Another challenging video, but it was very fun to make, and I'm looking forward to sharing that with you. So until then, I hope you have yourself a great week, and I'll see you again next Sunday.